Hey guys, Snupy here. So in recent times in WoW PP, it's been quite rough. There's been very low participation for many reasons. I actually made a full video going over why I think that is. And one of them, maybe the biggest one that I think it is, and that most people do agree with, is the MMR. That is just way too slow, and that the rates that it is increasing at has not been satisfactory for anyone, really. People have been stuck at way lower ratings than they usually are at this point in a season. Maybe, like a month in, you might have been 2-1 last season, and this season you're stuck 1800 and so on, right? Or you're just facing rank 1 players and like 1800, and you just feel like there's no progression for you, and that of course will be very discouraging for players. So something very exciting for me as I play this game a lot is a new tweet from Blizzard right here. We've seen a lot of the discussion around ratings in Season 2. With next week's reset, the inflation rate will be substantially increased for next week. Here we go. By the way, it's almost 3 a.m. here. I was going to bed, but then this popped up on my screen, so we had to go into it and see what's up. So yeah, basically, what is going on is that they're finally adding some inflation. That is to sum it up real short. But let's try to dive into the details there, though. So, last season, 2s and 3s were quite deflated as well, like the first month. But Shuffle was going crazy. You know, maybe like within a few weeks even, or at least a month. Like people were hitting 3K, and it was really just kind of going up super fast. What happened is that 2s and 3s did not keep up at all. And people were only really encouraged to play Shuffle then, because it was way easier to get Rival, Duelist, whatever you wanted from Shuffle as opposed to 2s or 3s. And then those brackets really suffered. What happened then, this season, Blizzard really capped the MMR on Shuffle, which kind of just ended up making all the brackets feel dead. And that's kind of where we've been at the last few weeks. And of course, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy where if the MMR is low, people don't want to play, and then because they don't want to play, the MMR is going to go up even slower, and it's just going to feel even more dead. And that is kind of what they're typing here too, or talking about here, is that they want less rating disparity between the different brackets, which I definitely think is a good thing. That you want the difficulty of getting Rival to be fairly similar in 2s, 3s, and Shuffle. And that is our goal, with the goal of being able to obtain the highest ratings in 3s. I think that is a good thing, for sure. I think 3s should kind of be like the main focus of all the brackets. But of course, they all should be in the light. So in Season 1, they made this post right here about MMR. This came out like quite some time ago, though. And they talked about kind of their philosophy on how they want MMR to rise and when they kicked the MMR in, because it didn't actually kick in early season. I think it was in like week 10 it did, because the initial hype of players playing when the expansion came out kind of was enough to have it actually progress at a good rate. So one thing to note is that in Season 1, they kicked in the 20 MMR. It was 20 every week, and I believe it was in week 10. And now they're kicking it in week 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, week 5. So this is a lot earlier, 5 weeks earlier, which I think is great, because of course it's not the launch of the expansion. It's already going to be way less active, and I think that extra artificial inflation is way more needed, which we all felt the last few weeks. And I'm guessing it's going to be on 20 as well. But maybe the biggest thing is that right now they're kicking in a massive increase next week to kind of catch up. I think is what they're trying to get to here. A substantial increase. How much exactly that is, I'm not quite sure. And also seems it's going to be happening gradually throughout the next week. So it's not going to be just like on Wednesday or Tuesday if you're NA. Boom, it's going to go up like 200. Maybe it's going to climb a few hundred throughout the week. My guess is like maybe 100, 150, up to 200. I believe there was a similar thing a while back. Actually, probably a few years back now, where they did inflate the MMR. but I do forget exactly how much that was. But yeah, so a gradual but substantial increase of MMR coming next week, which will hopefully, I really hope, increase participation, as people now will feel they can actually get the rewards they want to get, and then hopefully feel a sense of progression throughout the season. Where if your rival, would feel like your duelist is reachable, if your duelist elite is reachable, and then if your elite maybe glad is reachable, because if a game doesn't have that sense of progression, then naturally less people will want to play the game, and if less people play the game, then it's just kind of a snowball effect, and it feels really dead, which is kind of where we've been the last few weeks. We'll continue to monitor the numerous factors that at play that impact the overall rated ladder and ratings. Thank you for continued feedback and patience on this topic. So you guys, by the way, excuse my rambling. It's late. I gotta go to bed, but I thought I'd make a quick video on this because it is very, very exciting, and I do really hope they stay on top of this and that it's fixed. And hopefully in future seasons, it's gonna be faster and better responses, because I do think MMR will change, and like the need for change will depend on the season. Some seasons might need a faster inflation, some might need slower, depending on how it's playing out. And fast responses from Blizzard, I think, will be key to having the game feel good. And I really hope the game will be healthy, because WoW PP is an awesome game. It's very, very unique in how it plays. And yeah, let's hope for the best for the future of WoW PvP. So, good night, and take care.